Broads Media.
Friday Night Hoops. Friday Night Hoops. Is there anything better in life than falling asleep on a Friday night knowing your basketball team got a fat dub? Let me ask you a question. I just asked you it. I already asked you it. What's your answer to that? The answer is no. There is nothing better. Now, my life has changed completely. Let me explain. There was once a time where Friday Night Hoops meant going to the liquor store, putting a 30 on my shoulder, heading into Philly, hanging out with the boys, staying up till 2 a.m., maybe heading to the bar after the game's over and having a fun night. You know what I did tonight watching the game? And let me be very clear early on. I'm pumped that I'm in the position I'm in. I'm glad that this is where I'm at now, okay? I can't wait for Girl Dad to be in full effect. But I watched this game tonight, putting together a bassinet. I opened up a car seat box. I got 4 weeks, fellas. 4 weeks until Brooklyn is in my arms and we're watching the Sixers together. And I say, hey, did you see that? Did you see that adjustment from Nick Nurse? Did you see him keep Maxey and Embiid throughout the entire third quarter? Did you see him push buttons on the fly and rely on a Tobias in the fourth? 29 points for Tobias Harris, by the way. House off the bench, Springer cutting without the basketball, Embiid facilitating 8 assists. Robert Covington catches the ball after a behind-the-back pass from Embiid, drains it, an awesome three. An electric play right before the first half ends by Rocco. Tobias finishes at the rim. He actually finishes close to the rim. I swear to God, it's a new Tobias. Now, unfortunately, DeAnthony Melton can't hit a layup to save his life. So whatever the problem was in years past for Tobias, I guess just filtered through to DeAnthony. But my point is that Brooklyn and I are going to be watching some Sixers hoops together, and that's my experience now of sports. I wouldn't want it any other way, all right? I'm thrilled. I can't wait. But it's getting close, and this was sort of the smack in the face that, yo, Broach, you better get ready because it's going to be here real quick. And before you know it, you'll be watching the games and having to, instead of screaming at the top of your lungs, if the baby's crying, it'll be silent fist pumps. It'll be silent screams. You'll be clapping with oven mitts on like you saw a couple TikToks that your wife sent you because she's preparing you for it too. It's going to be something, boys, and I can't wait. I also can't wait for my next HelloFresh package to arrive. It will be here Monday. Now, what is HelloFresh? Great question. HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store, which suck, by the way, and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. The way it works is you have over 40 recipes to choose from every week. Then you get a pictured step-by-step recipe card that explains to you so easily, it's so perfect, exactly what to do. Everything's already pre-portioned. So when it says put X, Y, and Z into the pan, all you have to do is cut the bag open and pour it all in. You don't have to measure anything out. It's electric, okay? And it does all the shopping and meal planning for you. It arrives right at your doorstep at 25% less expensive than takeout. So that means you get easy home-cooked meals on the table and even more money back in your pocket. Go to HelloFresh.com/50broads and you get 50% off plus free shipping. That's code 50broads for 50% off plus free shipping. Once again, HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. The second quarter was a little gross, no? The start of it, they couldn't score a point to save their lives. Boys, this is the in-season play-in tournament. This is the in-season tournament to win a championship. How dare you start that first frame of the second quarter off so miserably? How bad do you want it? How long have you been dreaming about this moment? The audacity to start out so slow in that second quarter. Sometimes I couldn't get a sense of the flow of the game. Here's Atlanta trying to work with some pace. The transition defense was a little miserable at times, but Embiid facilitated very nicely. He got his points too. I thought you had a good team sound win when a lot of guys stepped up. Melton is definitely in a groove shooting from behind the arc, which changes what this team can be. I loved what they were doing, everything prior to Melton actually cooking, and that was without him dipping into his bag. Now that we're actually getting a more reliable, consistent Melton, I can't wait to see what he becomes when Kelly Oubre is available again and when Batum is off your bench. It's just so hard to get a grasp right now, and I know I've been stressing that, but it's truly how I feel. My motto is win as many games as humanly possible while down so many men, and then let's see if we can pick off or start off where we left off prior to the incident happening and Batum missing some time. I loved hearing Nick Nurse speak about what he decided to do in the second half with his rotations. Speaking about, look, there's 3 minutes ahead of me right now. Sometimes you have to focus on where you are in game. It's the complete opposite of a lot of coaches in this league, that this is our system. And I wonder, too, this isn't to let Doc Rivers off the hook or any other coach off the hook, but we know that sports nowadays is very analytical. And we know with Joel Embiid, it's about getting him to the finish line. He's even been extremely vocal about that, too, over the years. Now, I do think that some of that is changing, and maybe load management is getting a different look, and they're looking at some of the numbers over the last few years and realizing, can they make change to that? Sometimes I wonder, though, if the set rotations in years past was, this is our analytical data. They are saying if the players play this amount of minutes in this spurt and then they get some rest and then over 82 games, it will put them in an area where we are comfortable heading into the postseason and feel that they are at their best when they play this much time each night. And the rotations are set this way so you don't overwork them. They're getting the proper amount of rest after playing the certain amount of minutes that they deem is acceptable to get Joel Embiid to the finish line, to get some of these players to the postseason right in the prime of where they should be over the 82, when also factoring in a bunch of 7-game series and going all the way to the NBA Finals. I'm just asking a question, but I do know that that is incorporated in today's sports. Well, guess what? Nick Nurse says, I want to win this basketball game. And if I need to keep Maxey and Embiid out there longer in the third quarter, and I like what I'm seeing, and I think that they're figuring out some chemistry, and we need to expand this lead, and we need to snap the losing streak that we're on, feel good about ourselves, head to Brooklyn with the chance to be on a 2-game winning streak, I'm going to push those buttons. And I think that was honestly the biggest takeaway for me in the game was Nick Nurse. More so than House off the bench, because I kind of feel I know what House is. This is electric stuff from him. But he's going to be inconsistent. He's a standard role guy. A lot of the guys that flirt around where he is on an NBA bench will have nights like this, which is awesome when you are missing players. And then there'll be a night where he's probably super annoying to watch. And then after 5 minutes of play, you yank him. The leash is super short. He sits on the bench, and then you try it again the next night. It just so happened that today fell on a night where House was doing some incredible things on both sides of the floor, and you can say the same about Springer. Every time Springer gets up in the air, whether it's a dunk or for a block, my eyes light up. There's something about knowing how athletic he is and knowing what his vertical could be, and just the awesomeness of him, his presence, and you never know what's going to happen when he leaves his feet. That makes me excited to watch him when he's on the floor. Give him as many minutes that make sense as humanly possible. I'll sign up for that because I'm having a blast with the Springer. So every time I say Springer, I want to say Jerry Springer. So I apologize if that accidentally flies out of my mouth. And fun fact for you, there was a time I went to Jerry Springer live. That's right, I did see it live. And there are women in the stands that decide to show things and then wear beads, and it's a whole thing. Now, a quick side story. I didn't do this on my own. I was playing junior hockey at the time, and we had a college showcase in Connecticut. And the owner of the team said, hey, if you're over 18, make sure you bring your IDs. And we were like, what? Is he bringing us to a strip club? Is our owner bringing us during a college showcase where we want to get college commitments and play good hockey in front of these scouts? Is this man bringing us to a strip club? And it ends up being, we went to Jerry Springer Live after the showcase was over. Fun fact for you. Did not expect that to be a topic of conversation today. Not on my notes. Believe it or not, that's not on my notes. What is, though, is Hal scoring 14 points in 18 minutes. Pretty remarkable, man. Really, really was. I wish Rocco could have continued the hot stretch of hitting threes. Nick Nurse made it very clear that that's something that he wants out of him, and then he ends up having that spark early, and it fizzled out there afterwards. But I loved some of the effort stuff that I saw out of him right as the first half ended. I thought it was awesome to grab some momentum. The team had some life. They were running around, and he had some major impact plays, so it was good. It just didn't last as long as maybe I thought it would when I saw his start. The good thing about it, though, is there's other teammates that decided, hey, it's my time now. Hey, it's my time for my number to be called, and I got you. Don't worry about it. If it fizzles out, it fizzles out. That's fine. I'll get 14 points in 18 minutes. Awesome. Now, it's hysterical because when Tobias finished at the rim, I remember saying in my own brain, wow, not only has Tobias been efficient as hell everywhere, but I don't remember him at this clip finishing close to the cup. It's always ridiculous that he would fail with easy bunnies. He'd be 2 inches from the rim. It would end up being short. Then he'd get out-muscled on a potential offensive rebound and an easy putback. He'd screw that up too. And I said that as he finishes at the rack. And then Austin Krell, who does an amazing job covering the Sixers for 97.3 ESPN, tweeted, Tobias Harris is shooting 73% at the rim this season, a career high by far, and the most accurate he's been at the rim since the 2013 season, where he finished at 69%. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago was the last time Tobias Harris was this good around the rim. But hey, the same wavelength, Austin. We were on the same wavelength. I thought to myself, this is incredible. This is beautiful. Sign me up. And I have faith that Toby, he's got it figured out. Nick Nurse, he's got it figured out with the usage of Toby. He put some confidence in him, wants him to play a certain way. Willing to go downhill, willing to take advantage of certain matchups, not just to catch and shoot. Hey, stand there, don't overthink the game, just let shots fly. That was the message in the past. And he was fragile, and there were times where he was overthinking, overcomplicating the game, dribbling too much. And when that happens, I don't fault Doc for trying to make it easy on him and give him just a free pass of shoot the ball. When you get it, don't worry. Don't try and think, I need to do this, I need to do that. Let it rock. Let it rock. Be Tobias. Shoot the ball. There were times where that helped out the team. But now he's not overcomplicating the game and then also playing to more of his strengths at the same time, and it's all flowing. Now, speaking of overthinking and things like that, sometimes, and it makes a lot of sense, I'm not bashing him completely, it's just more of my analysis. When you see Tyrese Maxey start games off slow, scoring-wise, and maybe not going and getting his, and trying to get Joel Embiid the basketball and all that, looking to facilitate, it takes away from what makes Tyrese Maxey so awesome scoring-wise. And I think you look at some first-quarter scoring throughout a couple of games, and that's highlighted. Now, he needs to figure that out as time goes on here. I think he will. It'll happen organically with more time at this position. But just something I'm noting, that's all. Although Joel Embiid was found a few times right in his wheelhouse, exactly where he likes to operate from the nail, and I thought there were a bunch of rim jobs that happened. In and out, around and around and around, and fell out, and on any other night, those rim jobs don't happen. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like a rough rim job that just doesn't work out as planned. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my friends at TickPick are awesome. All right, now what if I told you can get $10 off of your tickets when looking to go to a Sixers game, when looking to watch the Flyers at the Wells Fargo Center? There's nowhere better than TickPick. There's a link down below in the description. When you click it, my promo code is already activated to whatever you buy. If you spend over $99, you get the $10 off. Now, TickPick has the best prices out there. Their ticket prices will be any of the major competing marketplaces. They're so confident they guarantee it. If you found the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, you get 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. And there's also upfront pricing, so you don't have to worry about doing math and preparing for what the damage is after you see the final price, what you think the final price is. Oh, $110. What? It's $180. Where did that $70 come from? You don't have to worry about it because the price you see is the price you pay. End of story, period, at TickPick. So don't be a fool. Get yourself to a game today. We can read some text messages here, though. Here's Adam. Man, the font is small. See, I'm telling you, I'm getting old. Not only am I building my baby's equipment, I now have to squint when looking at my Mac 5 feet in front of my face, but my keyboard's a little out of my reach. If I wasn't lazy, I can get it and zoom in, but can't I do it with my mouse? How do I do it with the mouse? Is it 3 fingers? 3-finger scroll? Nope, that's not it. I'm going to end up screwing it up, so forget it. I'll do the squint. Adam says, when do we commit to saying Tobias is a difference maker offensively this year? Or are we scared of what Tobias... Hold on. Or are we scarred as a fan base to ever go there? Okay. That's what the text said. Are we scarred? Interesting. I can't say no. I think it would be unfair to say no. There's always going to be an emotional scar with Tobias just because of the finances applied to his name. He's a good defender. He's a willing defender. He's got great size. It's actually an advantage at times with him in the postseason because of his defense. I'm willing to say, yes, this is him. I'm willing to. Yeah, I am. I am willing to. This has been an absurd start. And I guess if you want to play negative Nancy role and be a Negadelphian, it's easy to say he'll fall back to some sort of mean. If he's having a career year 10 years later finishing at the rim, well, is that really what he's going to do all year? Or is there a reason why the last time he was this good when he was that close is 10 years ago? I get it, I do. But sometimes, Tobias was never an awful player. Never an awful player. He's just been an overpaid player. So we're due, when looking at the tenure of Tobias, we've seen the bad, we've seen the average, we've seen the tick above average, and I think maybe now we can get the great. Why can't we get the great? And why can't I say that if you look at a window of time for someone with the skill set of Tobias, we're due. We're due for this to be real over 82 games plus the postseason. So, yeah, I'm putting my hand up and saying I'm committing. Yes, if you have to say right now I have to commit to Tobias being the real deal this year and being a reliable piece and a true leader and someone under Nick Nurse that can thrive, yes, I'm not going to be a little you-know-what and say, oh, no, forget about it. This guy's a clown. I've been fooled before. I've seen him play bad basketball. Come on. He's been doing well all year long so far. I'm going to say I'm enjoying the ride, and I think there's legitimacy in him being this. It's not outrageous to see Tobias score 20-plus points. It's not ridiculous to see him score high 20s and grab a double-double and be a good defender. It's not crazy. So, no, being scarred won't distract me and put me in a spot where I'm ruling good Tobias out for the long run. That's me. TJ texts in. It took too long for them to get going tonight. Very weird game. I didn't like it. They haven't grabbed me the last 3 games. Well, I disagree completely. It took too long for them to get going. They won the second half. They turned it around in the second half. I don't know. It's an NBA game. Things were sloppy. And what was the first quarter? Let me look exactly at what the game was after the first quarter. The score was 30-24 Sixers. So, TJ, you're saying you didn't like the first quarter having a 6-point lead. Then you got outscored in the second quarter. That's going to happen. So you won quarter 1 by 6. You lost quarter 2 by 5. So you're up 1 at half. For as bad as it was, and there were some things that were difficult to watch and things that made me nauseous, you were still winning at half. Not even playing crisp. Not even super smart ball. You're winning, and you're shorthanded. You're missing a 20-point per game guy. And an excellent role player in Batum. So keep winning while that's happening. I don't care how. Just do it right now. Okay? Then they win the third quarter by 6. They win the fourth. They won 3 out of 4 quarters. I don't get that one, TJ. I'm sorry. We're not on the same page there. And then this individual did not leave their name. And I'm sure I know why, because they're bashing Joel. Does Embiid look right to you? He had 8 assists. I thought he facilitated well. Yeah, he looks right to me. His body language annoys me. Oh, here we go. And ever since I watched Al Horford dominate him again, he rubs me the wrong way. I don't care about the Hawks, and I don't care about any team. If you can't beat the Celtics, it all doesn't matter. Are we going to do this all the time? I've seen this cycle. They lose a game against a big opponent. Then they might win 5 straight, and during that 5-game win streak, the first 2 games are, I don't care, it's not someone important. I don't care, it's not a big fish. I don't care, it's not someone legitimately competing for an Eastern Conference or a Western Conference. Then, after the 3rd straight win and the 4th straight win, you start to convince yourself, well, it's great because you're putting all these wins together. Then they win their 5th straight, and you're like, yes, this is awesome. And then they'll beat a good team, and it's like, okay, 6 straight, including a win against the Bucks. And then they lose to the Celtics, and oh my God, I can't stand this team. This team pisses me off. And then they'll win the next game. But that game was against Charlotte. So that game doesn't matter to you. And then they win against the Wizards. And then it's 2 straight wins following a loss to the Celtics. But because it's Charlotte and the Wizards, it doesn't mean anything to you. But Embiid will have 8 assists, or he'll have 9 assists, or he'll have 10 assists, and he'll do some good things, and you won't care. And then you'll be happy again after winning 5 of 6 until you see the Denver Nuggets. And then let's say you lose to the Nuggets. Oh, my God, Jokic is so much better than Embiid. I hate this team. And then they'll win 4 straight. You know what I'm saying? I know, because we've been doing these post-game shows for years now, going on to maybe 6 years, 7 years, 6 years maybe, 5 or 6 years. I'm just going off the top of my head. But I've seen it a billion times, and this text message sort of describes that. Does Embiid look right to me? Yeah, he had a bad game. He had a bad game, and he stunk against the Celtics, and I made it very, 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 very clear that I did not like his 2 outings prior to tonight. What he did tonight was fine, okay? Was fine. Body language did not annoy me. No. So I disagree. Disagree with 2 of our 3 texters today. I don't disagree with my bookie. My bookie's the greatest. And here's your Thanksgiving lead up. All right, skip the arguments with Uncle Dave on Thanksgiving and focus on what really matters. Good food, boosted odds, and hitting those Turkey Day parlays. Picture this, not just watching games, but turning every second into a potential win. With MyBookie, you can stream the games and live bet them and turn any game day into a payday. Ready to up your game? Sign up today and make your first deposit with promo code BROADS for a sweet deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code BROADS to claim your bonus. This isn't just a promo code, it's your secret weapon to get the extra edge on the house. The best part is you don't need to be a sports whiz to win on MyBookie because you can cash in on anything. Politics, your favorite TV shows, and then some. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. I love looking at the player props Sunday against the Nets. You'd be a fool not to look at Tyrese Maxey's over or Tobias Harris's over. Take a look at the point totals. I've been cashing out pretty much on a night-to-night basis, and come on now. It's free money right in your pocket. Join the MyBookie team with me and do not miss out. All right, everybody. Fun night of Friday Night Hoops. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we'll be talking again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. And go Sixers.